I'm wondering if it makes a half decent ukulele. So that's what we're going to find out today. If you're new here, my name's Emily, and on this channel I make videos to help you make music. It's quite a light wood. I'm not sure what kind of wood that is. Pre-made fretboard, bag of bits. Looks like the strings and the tuners and the bridge and stuff. Some instructions and a tiny screwdriver. Glue. Looks like there's some kind of knot they filled in on the headstock there. It's quite rough. The instructions recommend that you sand it before putting it together, but I think I'm just going to put it together and see what it ends up being like. So the first step is to glue the nut to the neck. The next step is to glue the fretboard onto the neck. The instructions say to clamp this down and wait for 24 hours while all the glue sets. So I couldn't find a clamp, so instead I've used elastic bands all along the fretboard, and I put one over the nut as well. So the next step is to fit the neck to the body. We've got a dowel to put in the end of the neck. And then once again, try and find a clamp or something that's going to hold this into the body. We've got some elastic bands, one kind of holding that way around the front, and then another one going down here. Again, going to leave it for another 24 hours. And this has been left to set. I'm going to glue these little things. So the instructions say that to line up the bridge, you position it over the screw holes, and then you're supposed to cut a couple of pieces of string and run them through the nut slot, and then make sure that the distance on either side of the fretboard between this outer string here and here, you're meant to make sure that that's about the same distance to make sure that the intonation's right on the ukulele. But to be honest, the screw holes and the position of the bridge where it already is looks quite good to me, so I'm not sure how much adjustment this will really need. And even if we do adjust it, I'm not sure it's going to make that much difference to the quality of the sound we get out of the ukulele anyway. So the next thing is to put the tuners on at the top. Actually, these look really nice. They've got a really nice little pattern on them. They feel pretty solid. Next thing is to put the saddle into the bridge. The bridge looks a little bit bent here, so maybe that will just hold it in place. So it's quite difficult to get it in there. So I'm going to try using a little hammer. There we go. So now we get to the exciting bit of putting the strings on. We tie a knot in the bottom of each one and then feed them up to the bridge and into each of the tuning pegs at the top. Here's what it looks like when it's made. But what's more important is what it sounds like. I've been tuning this ukulele over about a week to stretch the strings out, and it sounds quite nice, to be honest, when you just pluck the strings. But as soon as you start to play it, it sounds terrible. That's meant to be a G, and that's a D, and that's an F. A little bit better on the F. But what happens with it is, as you're playing, even if it sounded quite nice for a few chords, it would go out of tune after like literally 10 strums. So I would not recommend that you buy one of these ukuleles to actually play, but it's quite fun as a craft project for a weekend, especially if you paint it. This is the ukulele that my partner made me. He spray painted it to look a bit like waves, and it still has the same sound problems. Sounds nice. Sounds awful. So It can look quite nice and maybe you could use it for something else, but I definitely wouldn't recommend you buy one of these to actually play it. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.